Imagine a time 12,000 years ago, long before written history, before civilization as we know it, when the Earth was a different place, a raw, untamed landscape. Among the deep, sun-baked plains of Turkey, a secret was buried. A secret that defies logic, that challenges everything we thought we knew about human history. A temple, older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, whose construction was so advanced, so precise, that it seems almost impossible for the primitive people of the time to have created it. This is Göbekli Tepe, the hill of the potbelly. A place where the past collides with the present, where each stone, each carving, whispers a story of forgotten knowledge, of lost rituals, of a time when humanity might have been more advanced than we ever imagined. Welcome to the mystery of Göbekli Tepe. A discovery that shakes the foundations of history. In 1994, deep in the heart of Turkey's Anatolian plains, a shepherd's curiosity led to an unimaginable discovery. Savik Yildiz, tending to his flock of sheep, noticed something unusual beneath the earth, a stone protruding from the ground. At first glance, it was just another rock, but the curious shepherd didn't know that this unassuming stone would mark the beginning of one of the most shocking revelations in archaeology. What he had uncovered was no ordinary rock. It was a massive stone pillar, a piece of an ancient temple. But this wasn't any temple, and this wasn't just a simple site. It was Göbekli Tepe, a complex so old, so mysterious, that it rewrote the history of human civilization. Archaeologists would later discover that the pillars at Göbekli Tepe were carved and arranged with such sophistication that even the most advanced engineers would be left scratching their heads. These structures, these monuments, were far beyond what we thought ancient civilizations could achieve. They were the product of hunter-gatherers, people who had not yet discovered the wheel, who hadn't yet developed pottery. And yet, they built a temple, a place of worship, so monumental that it seems impossible for such a primitive society to have created. But Göbekli Tepe is not just an archaeological site. It is a time capsule, preserving a lost chapter of our history, a chapter that could change the way we see ourselves, our past, and our future. What makes this discovery even more mind-boggling is the sheer scale of the carvings. These aren't just crude marks in the stone. The carvings are so detailed, so intricate, that they suggest an advanced understanding of art, ritual, and symbolism. But what exactly do these carvings mean? Why were they created, and who, or what, were they created for? Some of the pillars depict strange, almost fantastical creatures: foxes, vultures, even scorpions. But it's the human-like figures that really catch the eye. Stylized and mysterious, the T-shaped pillars seem to represent human forms, with arms, hands, and even belts carved into the stone. What were these figures meant to represent? Was this a ritualistic place, a place where humans worshipped the stars, the animals, and the forces of nature? Or was it something more, something we have yet to fully comprehend? The shepherd's luck, discovery, and controversy. It all started with a sheep and a hunch. The discovery of Göbekli Tepe in 1994 could have easily gone unnoticed, a mere curiosity buried beneath the earth. But it didn't. Thanks to a simple but fateful discovery, archaeologists would soon be forced to reconsider everything they thought they knew about human prehistory. Savik Yildiz wasn't the only one who played a role in this story. Enter Klaus Schmidt, a German archaeologist who would become the key figure in revealing the truth behind this mysterious site. Schmidt had spent his career working in Turkey, excavating ancient ruins and uncovering forgotten stories. But when he arrived at Göbekli Tepe, he didn't see just another archaeological site. He saw a temple, a sanctuary, something far beyond anything previously thought to exist at that time. Schmidt's hunch was met with skepticism from many of his colleagues, who believed that the site was just another simple settlement. But Schmidt, with his expertise and his intuition, knew better. He argued that Göbekli Tepe was not just a village. It was a religious center, a massive temple complex built by hunter-gatherers. But would the evidence back him up? The proof came in 1995, when radiocarbon dating revealed a shocking fact. The site was not 1,000 or 2,000 years old, but 12,000 years old, dating back to the end of the last ice age. This was the Neolithic era, a time when humanity had just begun to shift from a hunter-gatherer lifestyle to settled farming communities. But here, at Gobekli Tepe, there were no signs of farming. Instead, there were massive stone pillars, intricately carved, some weighing over 20 tons. For comparison, the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt was built around 2560 BCE, while Stonehenge dates to around 3000 BCE. But Gobekli Tepe, it was an astounding 7,000 years older than these monumental structures. Pillars of wonder, symbols, sacrifice, and stargazers. Why did these ancient people carve such magnificent stones? What drove them to create such grand monuments? Even though they hadn't yet invented pottery, the wheel, or the wheelbarrow, what was the purpose of these intricate carvings? The answer, perhaps, lies in the carvings themselves. Each T-shaped pillar seems to represent not just a human form, but also a divine or spiritual connection. The figures depicted on these stones seem to serve as both symbols of humanity and of something greater, something cosmic, something divine. But it's not just the humans that appear on these pillars. There are animals, too. Foxes, vultures, scorpions, and even snakes. These animals are not depicted casually. Each one seems to hold symbolic meaning, and some, like the vulture, are associated with death and the afterlife. Take the vulture stone, one of the most famous pillars at Gobekli Tepe. It depicts a scorpion, a circle, and a cluster of dots. These symbols, it seems, were not random. According to astronomer Giulio Magli, these carvings may represent the constellation Scorpius, as well as the Taurid meteor stream, a comet bombardment that occurred around 11,000 BCE. Was this a celestial record? A warning of the dangers in the skies above? Or perhaps a guide to the rituals performed at Gobekli Tepe? The burial. Why they buried their sacred temple. After 1,500 years of use, something strange happened. Around 8,000 BCE, Gobekli Tepe was deliberately buried. The site wasn't abandoned or destroyed by natural forces. It was covered with soil, stones, and animal bones, as if its purpose had been fulfilled and its memory was meant to be erased. Why would the people of Gobekli Tepe bury their sacred temple? Why did they go to such lengths to hide it from future generations? Was it a ritualistic retirement, a way of closing an era? Or was it something more sinister? Did a new generation see the site as cursed? Or perhaps, as some have suggested, there was a social upheaval, a revolt against the priest kings who may have controlled the site's rituals and power. The mystery of the builders. Who were they? The true creators of Gobekli Tepe remain a mystery. The builders were not farmers or settled societies. In fact, they were hunter-gatherers, people who had yet to discover agriculture. They roamed the land in search of food, but they constructed one of the most sophisticated and monumental religious sites the world has ever known. How could such a primitive society, with no written language, no permanent settlements, and no advanced tools, possibly create such a grand structure? The precision with which the stones were carved, the scale of the site, the symbolism embedded in every pillar. It all points to a level of understanding, a depth of thought, that seems far beyond the capabilities of people who were still living in a nomadic, subsistence-based culture. Could it be that Gobekli Tepe wasn't the work of these people at all? Could it have been created by an advanced civilization, long lost to history, whose influence reached far beyond the boundaries of what we know? Some researchers have suggested that Gobekli Tepe may have been the work of a group of people who were guided or even assisted by an external force. But who or what was this force? And why has it remained hidden for so long? Imagine the people of Gobekli Tepe standing in the presence of these towering pillars, performing rituals beneath the stars. What were they looking for in these stones? What were they trying to communicate with these intricate carvings of animals and humans? Were they attempting to connect with the cosmos? Or were they marking something more grounded, an important event in their lives, perhaps a celestial phenomenon or a moment of great change? The people of Gobekli Tepe may have had knowledge of the cosmos, an understanding of the stars, the planets, and the cycles of the Earth that we have only just begun to comprehend. Some scholars believe that Gobekli Tepe was a kind of astronomical observatory, a place where people could track the movements of the stars, mark the seasons, and predict the future. But this is just one theory. Others suggest that Gobekli Tepe's primary function was spiritual, a place of worship where rituals were performed to appease the gods, to secure a good harvest, to ensure fertility, or to secure protection against the forces of nature. Perhaps it was all of these things. But one thing is certain. The builders of Gobekli Tepe were not just ordinary people. They were visionaries, creators of something truly extraordinary. The symbolism of the animals, what do they tell us? One of the most intriguing aspects of Gobekli Tepe is the array of animals carved into the stones. From foxes to vultures, lions to snakes, the animals featured on the pillars seem to tell a story of their own, a story that might hold the key to understanding the site's purpose. Why these animals? Why these specific creatures? And why are they depicted with such reverence? The vulture, for example, is often associated with death in many ancient cultures. In some ways, it is a symbol of the afterlife, of the journey from life to death. The fox, on the other hand, might symbolize cunning and intelligence, while the snake could be a symbol of rebirth and transformation. But there is another, more mysterious animal featured on many of the pillars, the scorpion. In the ancient world, scorpions were often associated with danger, but also with protection. Some researchers believe that the scorpion represents a kind of spiritual guard, protecting the site, its rituals, and its people from negative forces. These animal symbols are more than just artistic expressions. They are part of a complex belief system, one that may have been tied to the stars, to the cycles of nature, and to the human experience itself. The animals at Gobekli Tepe may not just represent earthly creatures. They could be symbolic representations of larger cosmic forces, of the interconnectedness of all living things. But the true meaning behind these carvings may never be fully understood. The symbolism is likely deeply layered, a puzzle that may take centuries to solve. But the fact that these animals are so prominently featured at a site like Gobekli Tepe suggests that the people who built it had an advanced understanding of their environment and the forces at work around them. They may have seen animals not just as creatures to be hunted or revered, but as sacred, as conduits to the divine. The sky above, was Gobekli Tepe an astronomical observatory? As we look closer at Gobekli Tepe, one theory that continues to gain traction is the idea that the site was a kind of astronomical observatory, a place where the people could track the movements of the stars and planets. It's no coincidence that many of the pillars at Göbekli Tepe align with certain constellations. Some researchers have suggested that the carvings, along with the arrangement of the pillars, are indicative of an ancient understanding of astronomy, a knowledge that predated even the earliest civilizations in Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Americas. Could Göbekli Tepe have been designed as a tool for the observation of celestial events? Perhaps it was built with the understanding that the movements of the stars, the positions of the planets, and the cycle of the moon were all intimately connected to the fate of the people below. Perhaps, for them, the sky wasn't just something to look at. It was a sacred space, a realm where divine forces spoke, guiding and influencing the world below. The alignment of the pillars and carvings with the stars may be more than just coincidence. It may be evidence of a long-lost tradition of stargazing, a tradition that tied the fate of humanity to the heavens above. If Göbekli Tepe was an observatory, it would have been a place not just of religious ritual, but of scientific observation as well. Buried in time. Why did they bury Göbekli Tepe? Perhaps the most perplexing aspect of Göbekli Tepe is the fact that it was deliberately buried. After centuries of use, the site was covered over with layers of soil and rubble. But why? Why would the people of Göbekli Tepe bury their greatest creation? And what does this act of burial tell us about the end of the site's significance? Some have speculated that the burial was a symbolic act, a way of sealing the site away for future generations. Others believe that the burial was a response to a shift in society, a shift away from the old ways and the old beliefs. Perhaps a new order had emerged, one that no longer valued the site or the rituals performed there. The fact that Göbekli Tepe was buried, rather than abandoned or destroyed, suggests that the people who created it believed deeply in its power and significance. They didn't just walk away from it. They closed it off, perhaps in reverence, perhaps in fear. The future of Göbekli Tepe, what lies ahead? As we stand on the threshold of a new age of discovery, one thing is certain: Göbekli Tepe is far from being fully understood. Its secrets, its symbolism, its purpose, they all remain tantalizingly out of reach, hidden beneath layers of stone, soil, and time. But one thing is clear: Göbekli Tepe is not just a relic of the past. It is a message from an ancient people who understood the world in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. And as we continue to uncover its secrets, we may find that the true significance of Göbekli Tepe extends far beyond the borders of ancient Turkey. In the years to come, as technology advances and new discoveries are made, the mystery of Göbekli Tepe may finally be revealed. But until then, the site will continue to stand, an enigma, a testament to the ingenuity, the creativity, and the vision of the people who built it. As we draw this journey to a close, we are left with more questions than answers. Yet the allure of Göbekli Tepe remains undeniable. This ancient site, with its mystifying history and intricate symbolism, continues to challenge our understanding of human civilization and its connection to the cosmos. What began as a forgotten hill, buried under centuries of earth, has now revealed itself as one of humanity's most extraordinary achievements, an enduring testament to the ingenuity, spirit, and mystery of our ancestors. In the face of the unknown, Göbekli Tepe invites us to look deeper, to seek the untold stories that lie beneath the surface, and to consider the possibility that there is still much more to learn about our past. As we leave behind the stones of Göbekli Tepe, we carry with us the echoes of those who once stood there, looking to the stars, seeking answers, and creating something that would stand the test of time. Perhaps the greatest mystery of all is not what Göbekli Tepe tells us about the past, but what it might still have to teach us about our future. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the mysteries of Gobekli Tepe. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more discoveries, and turn on the notification bell. Until next time, keep searching for the unknown and never stop being curious.